Police looking for Nicola Bully have found a body in the river. The area around the River Wire is now sealed off, a formal identification yet to be made, and the death is being treated as unexplained. Also this evening, an intervention by Boris Johnson reignites the Brexit battle within the Tory party. Plus, the stars are out for the BAFTAs, but who will go home with a golden mask? And 70 years since the last coronation, Buckingham Palace announces plans for King Charles III's.
This is ITV News with Lucy Watson.
Good evening. Detectives searching for missing mother of two, Nicola Bully, have found a body in the River Wire in Lancashire. Police were called to the area this morning after reports of a discovery. Sadly, a body was then recovered from the water. Lancashire police say that no formal identification has yet been carried out, but Nicola's family is being kept informed. Our North of England reporter Sangeeta Lal now reports.
More than 3 weeks since she disappeared, Nicola Bully's family and friends have been desperate to find her. Today, a significant development, one that may give them answers about what has happened. Earlier this morning, Lancashire police were called to reports of a body in the river. Quickly, a cordon was set up as teams searched the area. In a statement today, the force said, an underwater search team and specialist officers have subsequently attended the scene, entered the water and have sadly recovered a body. They say no formal identification has yet been carried out, so we are unable to say whether this is Nicola Bully at this time. Procedures to identify the body are ongoing. Well, we're about a mile upstream from where that body was uncovered earlier today, and this is where Nicola Bully's phone and dog were found more than 3 weeks ago. Now, it's also a place where her partner Paul and other friends and family have been visiting during that time, hoping for answers. Lancashire police have not yet said who this body is, but are describing the death as unexplained.
I believe that they will make an identification quite quickly because Nicola had very distinctive clothing on. But we do not know how long she's been in the water, and if she's been in the water for that length of time, how decomposed her body is.
Today, new flowers have been placed on the bench where Nicola was last seen, and yellow ribbons, which have symbolised this community's hope of seeing her again.
Now, Sangeeta, this is such a tight-knit community, all very close, all know each other, and it's been such an awful time for them in St Michael's-on-Wye over the last few weeks. What's the feeling there today?
It really has been, and the feeling is, as you can imagine, very sombre. This community have tried to help with this investigation, putting up signs and asking anyone to come forward. Tonight, I've spoken to many walking their dogs here, and all of them, any police officer they've seen patrolling the area, asking them what they know and asking us as well. This is a community and definitely what's happened.
Well, unfortunately, we seem to be having a few difficulties with Sangeeta there in Lancashire. We will try and bring you the latest from her in a short time. Well, elsewhere this evening, a man has been arrested after a 74-year-old woman was killed in Exeter. The attack took place in a park in the Wanford area of the city around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The suspect, who is in his 30s, was detained by armed police late last night. Turkey has ended rescue efforts in all but 2 provinces, almost 2 weeks after the earthquakes that killed more than 46,000 people. Searches will continue in Kahramanmaraş and Hatay, but hopes of finding anyone else alive in the rubble are fading fast. And the Scottish Health Secretary Humza Yousaf and former Minister Ash Regan have both launched their bids to replace Nicola Sturgeon as the next SNP leader and Scotland's First Minister. Candidates have until Friday to receive more than the threshold of 100 nominations. The former Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, has been accused of trying to take down the current PM with criticisms of a potential new Brexit deal. Mr Johnson has warned Rishi Sunak that ditching the Northern Ireland Protocol bill that was put together during his time in office would be a mistake. It is Johnson's first major intervention since he resigned, but suggests that there is growing rebellion over Sunak's plans. Catherine Sampson has this report.
This is the oven-ready pipe. This is quite oven-ready.
Boris Johnson said he had an oven-ready Brexit deal, but old rows seem to be getting reheated. The former Prime Minister thinks the UK must have the power to ignore parts of an agreement with the EU on who writes the rules on post-Brexit trade in Northern Ireland. His intervention comes just as Rishi Sunak seems close to reaching a new compromise.
It's not an entirely unhelpful intervention. It does remind us of the bar that needs to be met in these negotiations. And the critical thing is it's got to work for the people of Northern Ireland. It doesn't matter what I or Boris Johnson or any other member of the House of Commons thinks about it.
So he's not being a nuisance and winding up the DUP?
I think the Prime Minister would acknowledge that part of the reason why we've been able to make progress is what his predecessors did to get us there.
The Northern Ireland Protocol was designed to avoid a hard border on Ireland, but it has in effect created a border in the Irish Sea, with goods coming from Britain being checked as they enter. The unionist community sees this as a threat to their position within the United Kingdom. The new deal is thought to involve a check-free green lane for goods staying in Northern Ireland and a red lane in which goods destined for Ireland are checked. Rishi Sunak needs to sell any compromise to the DUP, but also try and quell a potential backbench rebellion from Eurosceptic Tories. A former Chancellor has questioned Boris Johnson's motives.
He wants to bring down Rishi Sunak, and he will use any instrument to do it. And if the Northern Ireland negotiations are that instrument, he will pick it up and hit Mr Sunak over the head with it.
If there is a vote on a new deal next week, Labour says it will provide political cover to try and get a compromise through.
We've just had too many Prime Ministers, former Prime Ministers, all rowing amongst themselves. Nobody wants this to be part of a psychodrama in the Conservative Party.
Negotiations have been going on between the UK and the EU for more than a year now. Settling this row will be key to restarting the Stormont Assembly. Catherine Sampson, ITV News.
Now, film stars are gathering in London for the BAFTA Awards ceremony, which takes place tonight. The German-language Netflix film All Quiet on the Western Front leads nominations. It's up for a whopping 14 awards. The dark Irish comedy The Banshees of Inisherin is also in the running for 10 gongs, including Best Actor for Colin Farrell. Our arts editor, Nina Nanar, has been on the red carpet chatting to some of those hopefuls.
New venue, new presenters, new timings. For the first time, part of the BAFTA ceremony will be going out live on the TV. This is a show that is normally pre-recorded. It is likely to be a night of a lot of surprises, despite the huge number of nominations for just a few films. The field is really very, very wide open. Over half of the performance nominations are first-time nominees. Some big names could pick up their first ever BAFTA. One of those is Jamie Lee Curtis, up for Best Supporting Actress for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And it's fair to say she's just here to enjoy herself.
I am having the best time. I am. I am leaning in. You know, at the beginning of the season of shiny things, when the first swirling of all of it happened with that one right there, I said I have two choices. I can either go like this, like no, don't say it, I don't want to hear. Or I can go, yeah, great, bring it.
And later on in the evening, there will be a special tribute to someone who has been a huge supporter of BAFTA, the late Queen Elizabeth II. And that tribute will be led by someone who has played the Queen on stage and on screen, Dame Helen Mirren. A tribute that will go out in front of the late Queen's grandson, Prince William, who's here tonight and who is, of course, the president of BAFTA.
Nina Nanar with that report on BAFTA's red carpet. Right, to sport, and while speculation mounts about who might take over Manchester United, on the pitch they're going from strength to strength. United edged closer to the Premier League's top two today after a 3-0 victory over Leicester. Chris Scudder was watching.
Suddenly the prayers of United fans are being answered. 2 days after super-rich bidders made their plays to take the club over, they can't stop winning. But they had goalkeeper David De Gea to thank for keeping them afloat against Leicester. Not one, but two world-class saves when United were hanging on in the opening half an hour.
David De Gea!
But step forward, the man of the moment, Marcus Rashford.
And Rashford!
Reborn this season, his head and focus are in exactly the right place. It was anyone's guess how it wasn't 2-0 by half-time. Dalot finished like a fullback, not a forward. But there was no stopping Rashford, where last season he could do little right.
And you know what that usually means?
Now he just can't stop scoring. This was his 16th goal in the last 17 games. United weren't done. Like Rashford, Jadon Sancho is on his way back to form. 3-0, only 5 points off the top now, and with potential new owners waiting in the wings, United are flying. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
Now, plans for the King's coronation in May are well underway, and today we got an idea of what it will sound like. 12 new pieces of music have been personally commissioned by the King, including a new coronation anthem to be penned by Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber. The palace says artists have been chosen to blend tradition with musical voices of today, as Alex Isaac now explains.
Although not necessarily known for his rhythm, King Charles's love of music is world-renowned. And to ensure his own coronation has its unique historical soundtrack, he not only has West End legend Andrew Lloyd Webber composing the anthem, but he's also commissioned new music. A mix of choral, orchestral and organ. The 12 new pieces will showcase a range of talent and styles from around the Commonwealth, as well as matters close to his heart.
What's very special about this is that King Charles has absolutely curated this programme of music personally.
With all eyes on the service at Westminster Abbey, the music will be playing an integral part. From historical dramas to the Platinum Jubilee, Debbie knows how to adapt her music for an audience.
I'm thinking of the purpose of it and the joyous, celebratory feel, the fact that it's going to be in Westminster Abbey. So writing with that in mind, and I think of that as I'm writing. Every single note is written with a purpose, thinking of how it's going to be performed and where it's going to be performed.
The service will also include a tribute to his late father, Prince Philip, featuring Greek Orthodox music alongside classical composers like William Byrd and Sir Edward Elgar. Celebrations will continue into the weekend, with a coronation concert taking place the following day, similar to the one held outside Buckingham Palace for the late Queen's Platinum Jubilee, with rumours that the Spice Girls could be performing, where King Charles III may even get another celebratory kiss. Alex Isaac, ITV News.
And finally, look but don't touch is always good advice when visiting art galleries, and a cautionary tale for one woman who had an unfortunate accident at an art fair in Miami. These shards are the remnants of one of Jeff Koons' iconic dog balloon statues. A visitor reportedly tapped the piece before it fell to the floor. The price tag, £35,000. Thankfully for her, it was covered by insurance. A reminder now of our top story this evening. Detectives searching for missing mother of two, Nicola Bully, have found a body in the River Wyre in Lancashire. Lancashire Police says that no formal identification has yet been carried out, but Nicola's family is being kept informed. And we'll have the latest on that story when we're back with the late news at 10 o'clock. Enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.
Today we'll see warmer temperatures moving in from the east, especially around tea time. Heinz Beans sponsors ITV National Weather.
Hello there, very good evening to you. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. As we look ahead to this evening and overnight, you can see that the winds are going to be really strengthening across the northern half of the UK, particularly towards the northwest, where you've got rain there as well. But it really is the wind that's going to be the main focus of the forecast for tonight, because they're going to be catching gale force in places, so the potential for some impact there. From a temperature point of view, right across the UK, it's going to be a mild night, cloudy as well, and largely dry. And then on to tomorrow. Well, we are expecting once again to see those strong winds continuing across the northern half of the UK, particularly the far northern parts of Scotland. Sunny spells and showers for you into the afternoon. Still that band of rain, not really amounting to very much, but generally speaking, it's going to be a cloudy start to the new week, with the best chance of brightness across the central and eastern areas. And despite that wind, which will slowly ease, temperatures again on the mild side. See you later.
Heinz Beans sponsors ITV National Weather.